That's all I see right now. Yep.
Okay, why don't we start with you, Tim, and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Tim with the Sonoma Valley.
Oh, wait, you have to make your announcement first.
Oh, thank you. But so everyone knows this is going to be streaming live on the internet. So this is now live, and know that it's a public meeting.
Good.
Yep.
Tim, would you start by introducing yourself?
Sure. So my name is Tim Zahner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau.
Dave?
I'm Dave Kiff, interim city manager in Sonoma.
Liddy?
Hi, Liddy Parlato with MacArthur Place Hotel and Spa.
Dan?
And Dan Parks in at Sonoma.
Norman Krug, Sonoma Valley Inn. I am calling the meeting to order. We have 4 members of the board on the meeting, and we're expecting Chris from the lodge at Sonoma to be on shortly. And we will start the meeting by going through the public comment. There being none, we will go to the consent items. There being none, we will go, Dan, to your financial report.
Okay, the financial report, just what we have in the bank as of the end of this fiscal year will be $281,000 approximately dollars, plus our $50,000 catastrophe reserve account. This is less than we usually have at the end of the year because of the pandemic reductions, and our budget that we've been working on, at least a proposal on, reflects that we do have a little less, but it also reflects the fact that we're moving forward and expecting more to come in. The way things work with our funding is that we usually think in terms of spending and doing our new budget based on what has happened the prior year. This time we're obviously taking that into account, but looking at the new year. Tim, are we able to look at the proposed budget?
We are, and it's good because we have Chris Wingerberg has now joined the meeting, so we're good. So
Chris, would you introduce yourself for the audience, please?
We can't see him.
No, he's on his phone, I believe. So he's just calling in.
Okay. Can you hear us, Chris?
Everyone, this is
Hello.
Well, let's assume he can hear us, but maybe
from the lodge. I'm trying to put on my video in about 20 minutes when I get back to the hotel.
Okay.
Got it. He'll be okay.
Thank you. Can we put up the budget, the proposed budget?
Sure thing. Yep, let me do that right now. Okay, can you guys see what looks like an Excel spreadsheet, I hope?
Okay. Dan, could you walk us through the spreadsheet for us on particularly the items in yellow that are proposed and make a comparison to former budgets so we can have an idea what you're suggesting?
Okay, the proposed revenues, which as we know are always an educated guess, we've boosted up from last year because we are confident that COVID is almost over, and we won't have the deep hits that we had last year. But we're still not back to where we were in the past, which was $760,000 projected. But we are up from last year, and we're proposing 600 as our revenue projection this year. We have sort of deliberately cut back on our grants. We don't know what events are going to be happening. And so for the meanwhile, we've budgeted less there. And I think that's something the budget is not in stone. We can look at that as time goes along. Marketing, we've come back up to 400,000, which is not a whole lot less than back in the better times. The Visitors Bureau funding, we expect the office to be open and those expenses to be back where they are. And so we've got the full $100,000 of funding for the Visitors Bureau office operations. The rest of the items are standard, not much way to change them between accounting, all the little things that happen regardless. And you'll notice that at the end we have a projected profit of a little over $15,000. Last year we projected a deficit. The 15, we really won't know until we're much further down the line, but I see us being able to revisit and look at grants and other things, or especially that we can help with that are for things that are happening. I wish we could see the whole thing here, but
Oh, here, let me, well, I can probably do that. Let me, well, that's the problem of having a long, skinny budget, Dan. I can quickly send this to everybody too. Let me do that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 more second here. All right, Liddy, everyone look in your email. It'll be there. But essentially you've got, we're not back to where we were in 18, 19, 19, 20, but not as dire as we thought in 2021. But of course, we don't know how 20 and 21 nets out until the end of this month anyway, Dan, to your point. And we actually don't find that out until August, roughly, when we get the numbers for June. But
well, but what we work with really is our collections, which are, or our transfers from the city, which, as we know, happen a month and a half after the end of the month that they're transferred for.
right. So I think, Liddy, were you able to get, I just emailed it to you if you want to check that or to see, but.
Sorry, hasn't come through yet.
Okay, no problem.
I just got it.
Woo-hoo. And then Norm Hunt is about to hop into the meeting right now too. Good.
think everybody has it now. So Dan and Tim, do you have any further clarifications over Dan's statements?
No, I don't. I think it's conservative enough that, we're not putting ourselves in a precarious position, but it does invest in bringing people back here, especially as demand might fall off naturally. Once we get past this quick explosion of everyone wanting to travel, we're going to have to start convincing them to travel. So
I would suggest, for purposes of discussion, that we make a motion that we approve this budget today, with the caveat that I think we should review it in 90 or 120 days, say 90 days, based on how we see the business this summer coming in. Because if we have a booming or a strong summer, we may be able to adjust the budget to put more money into the advertising section, telling people that we're open and that we're having events and all this different stuff. With that caveat, I would ask for a motion that we approve the budget as submitted by Dan Parks this morning, and have a second for purposes of discussion. Is there a motion?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The heritage and community events, I'm obviously new to reviewing this. What are the $5,000 respective budgets cover?
Dan, you got that? I can answer that too.
I think they are not allocated now. It's just a number that's there. We hope we can make it more as things, and if those events happen. But it's hard to justify funding events that don't happen.
Fair enough.
And Liddy, what in the past we would have a granting cycle where people who were doing either off-season events. So let's say Liddy Fest, you're going to start that, and you want to do it in December or January, which is a need period. Then you can apply for a grant from the TID, and that would assist you with marketing and advertising and getting the out with a hope to fill rooms with like the TID intention. And then some of the heritage events are things like, the Vintage Festival or the 4th of July. Things are very different this year, so probably not going to come back until the next year when that'll be there. But those are like long-standing events.
Got it.
Good question. And if you want to do Liddy Fest, I'm all for it, as long as you fill
Love
hotel
it.
rooms. Yeah.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Do it.
I would still like a motion so that we can have further, I'm not cutting off discussion. I want to have more discussion, but could I have a motion to approve the budget as submitted?
I'll be happy to make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and second that we approve the budget as submitted by our treasurer, Dan Parks, this morning. Now, is there any further questions or clarification?
I should make clear that one of the objects of the budget is to give the Visitors Bureau and the marketing program guidance on what they have to spend. And these amounts are what we're very confident we can actually provide, so that the planning for the winter marketing can go forward now, and can really depend on getting this funding from us. We're not the only place that funding comes from, but we're the major source. And so it's important that we basically this budget commits us to spending this money with the Visitors Bureau and the marketing program, et cetera.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Tim, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, just appreciate the support and ready to start doing this, because I know it's going to start dropping off probably November or so. So we got to go out there and start getting people back in here.
Dave, do you have any comments? Did we lose Dave here?
No, he's still there. He's still there.
Any comments, Dave?
Dave, you are muted.
Hey, Tim, this is
Chris,
This is
Chris is
Chris.
speaking. Go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
I just wanted to ask, so yeah, does this say that we spent 419 and 1920 and now we're gonna spend 400,000, so it's just 75,000 less?
Are you looking at the TID marketing? So this is
Yes.
actually budgeted amounts, right? that
Okay.
we spent. So, and actually, yeah, the budget, the nice thing about this, we've never had a year, and maybe Dan can go back even further to know, where we weren't able to meet the budgeted amount for marketing. Because we tend to be pretty conservative on our estimates of revenues.
Mhm.
So yeah, so 475 in 1819, 475 in 1920, 350 in 2021, and then trying to get us back up to that amount by getting up to 400 next year.
Okay, all right, so we're getting closer to back to where we were.
Yeah, and obviously it's always a function of how much the TID collects. So with both Lodge and MacArthur raising ADR and then occupancy, that number will naturally, hopefully go up. Especially if we can prime the pump with more advertising, right, and more marketing to bring them back.
Yeah, so if we do generate more TID, is there an opportunity down the line to increase that amount if we have the funds?
I can't answer the TID, but Norm did just mention before that to relook at this in like 90 to 100 days and look at
Okay.
forecasts. And so absolutely, and TID's done that in the past where all of a sudden more money's coming in, or on the flip side, there's an emergency, and I don't want to curse ourselves, but and you have to put in a special campaign about something like that. The TID does have the opportunity to do that as well.
Okay, great, thank
Chris,
you.
my comments were made because I think the budget is very conservative in terms of the increase. It only goes up 100,000 from last year. And I think with your property, MacArthur, with Liddy and our properties and Dan's, we're all getting very strong right now. And it's possible we'll have more collections. And therefore, if we have more collections, I'd like to consider 90 or 120 days from today, increasing the advertising and marketing budget to help the Bureau and to help all of us. So what I'm asking everybody to consider today is to pass this budget with the understanding that we'll bring it up again in 3 to 4 months based on current conditions.
Yep, agreed completely. Thank you so much, Norm.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, I'm going to call for the question. The proposal is that we accept the budget as accepted, as submitted, by Dan Parks. And I'm going to ask those in favor by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just quick clarification. I want to say that I can see, because this is on Zoom. Hunt Bailey has voted yes. Liddy, have you voted?
Yes.
I didn't see Bailey on.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah, I came on late. Sorry about that.
No
But yes,
problem.
I'm voting yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Chris, I think you
introduce
want-
yourself, please.
Yes.
So we can do that for the recording.
For the recording, my name is Hunt Bailey. I'm with Sonoma Valley Escapes. And I'm
Thank you, Hunt. And we have a quorum here, so it is unanimous that this budget is passed. And I want to thank both Tim and Dan for working with me and getting the budget put together for this presentation, and it is now effective. Tim, you want to discuss our marketing program?
Sure, I'll go real briefly, because I know right now it's funny to talk marketing since we're in the middle of the craziness, as Lydia was mentioning earlier, that there is an incredible amount of pent up demand. A lot of travel is happening right now. I suspect a lot of people from California, but I'm starting to see more people, even at the visitor center, from further afield. Lydia, I enjoyed coffee at the coffee shop 2 days ago at MacArthur Place, because I just watched people come and go, and there were a lot of people coming and going from your property. So good problem to have.
It's busy, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have seen you flipping rooms and parking cars too. I don't know. It was a whirlwind of activities.
On the list.
Yeah. So right now we're just continuing our social media promotion. We're talking more about farms and outdoors, and we'll continue to kind of keep that outdoor aspect going. We're also got our consumer email going out later today, and it's featuring some of the smaller inns and B&Bs and talking about, come visit Sonoma Valley for a great little getaway. For those who don't know, bungalows, is it bungalows 313 or bungalows 313? 313?
313.
313. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out. Really neat refurbishment going on over there. And it's just off the plaza. So that's neat. There's still a lot of investment happening in our properties here. Give you a heads up that in the future, we do have the lighting of the plaza. We have the okay to do it in person this year. So that will be the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I think I'll give you the actual date here, but I think that's like the 20-something of November. So put that on your long range calendar. Yeah, the 20th, it's November 20th. For those of you that participated in the past with cookies or hot chocolate, Chris doesn't know that yet, but the lodge does hot chocolate. We'll find out what all is going on, and it'll be a lot of fun. The visitor center has been very busy, and having the cart out front, I'm going to keep that even when we do open. And Dave, I'm assuming maybe we can open the building soon, or maybe we'll wait until the new city manager comes in and we'll figure that out. But the cart has been a really good way to do it. And even down at Beyonce, we're moving the cart in front of the parking area. And we're seeing numbers like we used to back in 2018. So that's my report, and happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments or questions, please? If not, I want to thank you, Tim, as always. You do a nice report. And I hope we'll have more money to give you in 120 days, as we all do. Dave, do you want to talk on behalf of the city, please?
Sure. We hope to give you more money in 120 days too, because that means more revenue for the city's coffers. So we all win there. And certainly very excited to see a better tourism base in Sonoma. That's been terrific. I've seen it too, as you guys have. City councils will adopt their budget next week. We have a weird, probably a 2-day meeting set up, just because we need to wrap up a lot before July starts. So the council will meet probably Monday night and Tuesday night. Monday night will mostly be budget adoption, and we are certainly watching the TOT revenues closely. We'll probably do something somewhat similar to what you guys just discussed, as maybe come back with a revision in September or October, again, if things continue to look good, which I think they do. Council also will at least also decide how to fill Logan's seat. At the same time, they may actually make an appointment of an individual that night. One of those nights, they could also call a special election. They could also set up an appointment process. So, yeah, a lot going on the political side of things. What else?
Dave, are you leaving soon?
Yes, my depending on how 4th of July goes, 4th of July may be my last day, or I may leave right before. No, and I'll be, but I won't be far. I'm going to work for the County of Orange again as an interim basis. Sorry, County of Orange. Dang, that is an old thing. I gotta put $1 in the tip jar. County of Sonoma. To work on.
Maybe you'd moved to Orange County.
Yeah,
no, he better send his invoices to the right person, I think. Yeah,
I've done that. Their homelessness funding agency, which is called the Community Development Commission. It's the other CDC. And what they have a staff about 55 people. And what they do is they allocate all of the federal and state money that comes in for housing support and homelessness. So certainly a big issue in the Valley, big issue in Sonoma County. I'm happy to be able to work on that with the team there. So I'm not far away, hopefully working on something important. So I think that's it for my report. Thank you. It's been such a great pleasure working with you all, getting to know you, getting to know the Valley. You know, as a Healdsburger, I was part of the 101 corridor thing, and just so wonderful to realize what a special place Sonoma is. So I'm very thankful for that.
Well, we want to thank you for all your help and consideration with us at the TID and for the city of Sonoma and the tourism business. As I said earlier, we really appreciate you. You're a true gentleman and a real professional, and we thank you for all your efforts.
Again, thank you, Norm. Appreciate that.
We are now going to go into consideration of reopening the granting cycle for off-season and the heritage events and analysis of the situation. Tim and Dan, do you want to take the lead on that and tell us, we've touched on it a little bit, but would you tell us in the budget, you have amounts in there, but with a question mark because we don't know if these events will or will not happen. So Dan, why don't you take it from there?
Well, it's sort of a hard one to get your hands around because once again, we don't know what's going to happen, which events are going to be able to go forward, even though California is opening up. There's still a lot of questions on exactly how that will happen with relation to events. And so I don't see it being something we can do much about right now. I think that when we revisit our budget in a couple months, we'll know much more. We're going to know much more in a week or so. But in a few months, we'll have a better idea, and we do know who the obvious recipients are, and I think it's better to sort of table this one, and I'm happy to hear from anybody else, but I just don't see how to get at it right now.
Thank you, Dan. Tim, did you have any additional comments?
Just that when the time comes, we're ready to open it up. We have a pretty good process where we announce that they're open and people can fill out applications. And then, of course, we bring it back to TID and we talk about it. So when we're ready, we can do it. And Dan, to your point, the only people I've heard about asking has been Vintage Festival, but there's not quite clarity on what's going on this year with that and who's running it right now. So I think most people know that this is weird time, but like we said, 90 to 100 days, it might be completely different. So we have the process ready to open it when we need to.
We have gotten inquiries from the community center, from the museum. Obviously, there are a lot of people interested in a little help, but I just don't think we're at a place to deal with it yet.
Tim, so we conform with the Brown Act, would you please keep it on the agenda for each of the next succeeding 3 months so that if there is a change, we can discuss it and take a vote and allocate money. And if there's no change, we'll just pass it, okay? But keep it on the agenda so we give the public knowledge that we're going to be talking on this subject each month from now on.
Okay.
Are there any other comments? Christopher, did you want to add anything?
No comments, Norm. Thanks so much.
Okay. With that, I'm coming to the review of the minutes of May 13th, 2021. I'm asking for a motion for approval of those minutes and a second.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you. And is there a second?
Second?
I can.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions on the minutes of May 13th, 2021? If not, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The minutes carry. Does anybody have any item that they'd want to put on for discussion at our next board meeting? Because we have to put these items on the agenda in order to talk about anything. any item that anybody would like to bring to the table at our next meeting?
What about
Dan?
our new city manager? Will we expect to meet him at our next meeting?
I think we should extend an invitation.
I'll certainly put it on his calendar.
All right.
Okay. And anything
Hate to
else?
jump early, guys, but I gotta run. Have a good day.
Thank you, Hunt. Have a great day. I will, if there's no other comment, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Would somebody make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Liddy.
Thank you, Liddy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?